Hello and welcome back to somebody on the Wrestling and to another edition of AEW Collision Out of 10. It's been a week since All Out took place, but AEW's already began planning its Wrestle Dream pay-per-view on October the 18th with some big matches on there. And yeah, we've got some intriguing matches on this week's card as well, including Carl Fletcher versus Commander, and the first match of the night, a six-man tag with Garcia, Castagnoli and Mox taking on Strong, O'Reilly and Daddy Magic. Garcia and O'Reilly started their teams with a nice exchange of basic hold encounters. KOR used his experience to out-wrestle Garcia before tagging in the man everyone wanted to see fight Garcia, Daddy Magic. Garcia refused to even look at him, tagging in Claudio in a match featuring the Paragon and Death Riders. The story everyone cared about was Garcia and Magic, which speaks to the volume of how well they did it, and when they made contact the crowd popped. It had a handful of AEW's best striking grapplers, so it would have been shocking if it wasn't at least somewhat good. Thankfully it's a lot of fun. O'Reilly shined as one of the most active competitors in the match, but all eyes were on Garcia and Magic. The action felt a little all over the place, but they did a good job making it sure he was legal, and Garcia ended up getting the win to Daddy Magic. Makes sense, and yeah, pretty fun start. 6 out of 10. Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir then had a squash match. The beginning of the match was awkward. Nobody seemed to realise the show was back for a few seconds. They won in a couple of minutes, dominating their opponents, and yeah, Statlander had a promo directed at her, intriguing, before the Acclaim take on the Swirl, and Lee Johnson and Blake Christian took on the temporary reunited Acclaim. Neither member of the Acclaim wanted the match happened, but Jerry Lynn made it happen. Bowens won the argument for who would start first, but Caster tagged himself in right away. Then Bowens did the same thing. Caster tricked him and pulled him out of the ring so they could argue. Johnson hit a suicide dive to take advantage of their issues. Christian and Johnson double teamed Bowens for a bit. Once the Pride of Pro Wrestling gained the upper hand, Caster tagged in and tried to get him to do a double team move, which Bowens refused. Swell maintained control through the commercial break and into the next segment. Bowens was looking to leave for a tag, but then decided to leave Caster high and dry. Lynn came out and told him to get back in the ring and finish the match. Bowens got back on the apron and he got the tag. Caster ended up saving him from a pin, but when Bowens was about to win, Caster tagged himself in. Bowens hit Johnson with a molly whoop and Caster got the pin. As a match, this decent bit was the story. Everyone did their job well, but the crowd was sad when they didn't see her. But yeah, long haul, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes. 6 out of 10. Dalton Castle then returned to an AEW ring for the first time in over a year with the team of the Outrunners, and they won a squash match in under 2 minutes. Great to see Dalton back, but except for that, not a huge amount to say. As the TNT title was then on the line for when Commander challenged Fletcher for the belt. He was also looking to get payback for Hologram, who Fletcher attacked earlier in the show during a backstage segment. The High Flyer team tried to take control early, but one big slam from the Protostar put him down. He then slowed the pace down a bit, which made it feel like increased tempo when Commander started going on a roll. These two had a few matches over the past couple of years and always worked well together, and this was no different. Fletcher was a great base for Commander's high-risk offense, but the Protostar also was resilient. Some of the spots they came up here were creative, but the title was never in danger. Even if Commander was hitting his biggest move, Fletcher was able to secure the victory with a series of high-impact moves leading to a brainbuster. 7 out of 10. As we then got Big Bill and Brian Keith taking on Hook and Eddie Kingston, and yeah, it was a tornado tag match. When they hit the ring, Eddie and Bill went after each other while Hook and the Bad Apple fought. Hook and Kingston's double team the big man for a little while, but once Bill tossed Eddie into the sets, the tide shifted. We returned from a break to see Hook still struggling while Kingston tried to recover at ringside. It was entertaining, but there wasn't actually much to it. The competitors made it work, but compared to some of the other bouts we got on the show, this one fell short, which is disappointing for Hook and Eddie. Hook got the win by making Keith tap out. 5 out of 10. As we then got Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart in the main event. These two have had many battles, but of course this was only 2 one-on-one encounters before this. With 1 win each, this was a rubber match, and Hayter showed off some power by immediately shoving Hart into the match after their initial lock-up. A few minutes into the match, Sky Blue interfered behind the rest back in a super kick. When we returned from a break, Blue tried again, but suplexed on the floor by Hayter. The former world champion began making a comeback and threw Hart all around the ring. Hart grew frustrated and she couldn't bet Hayter away. After surviving a tombstone, Hart was unable kick out the Hayter. It was a good performance and would have benefited from less interference. Blue attacked Hayter after the match. She and Hart double teamed her until Aminata made the save to end the show with a Bayface on top and everyone happy. Yeah, decent enough. 6 out of 10. Overall, Collision gets a 6 out of 10 from me. It was pretty by the books episode, which is not a bad thing. It felt like its own show instead of being used to hype up a pay-per-view. Other than a few squash matches, most of what we got was decent. And yeah, Fletcher and Commander definitely stood above the rest. Ending the show with Hayter announcing the first women's body guards match was interesting. And yeah, something I'm very much looking forward to. This video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.